there, it's Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder here with this week's episode of the Tuesday Brews Day. We are going to head back to Standard. Standard is the Wild Wild West now with the bannings, and the meta has really been shaken up. It is starting to develop and settle down, and I've been trying to wait for that before I brew too much, but I'm just going to start playing with some cards from Final Fantasy, and there's a card called Phoenix Down. I know this wasn't from my top 10 list, so I was going to just exclusively start trying to tick off the cards that I picked in my top 10 list. I know I have Edge of Eternities coming up, so we probably won't get through with all the cards I picked there. However, this little combo is really, really cool. I'm not the one that came up with it. There have been a few other streamers that have played decks. However, I have my own little unique list for this combo. So the combo is Kona, Rescue, Beastie, and Phoenix Down. So Kona, Rescue, Beastie is a really cool card out of Duskmourn that just, if it is tapped on your second main phase, you can put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So there are a lot of reanimator strategies right now in the format. There's Yuna, there are just Zombify is a card. Of course, reanimating Omniscience is a thing. So there's a lot of graveyard hate right now to combat these decks. So where Kona gets an advantage is it's not graveyard hate. You are just grabbing this card from your hand, or a card from your hand, if you can manage to get Kona tapped. So before Phoenix Down came out, there were a couple of cool ways to get the Kona tapped. One was Relic of Legends, and then there is also Scene of the Crime. But both of them are a little bit awkward, but we do have a lot of good cards that have been printed recently with the Lumbering World Dragon out of Aether Drift. And now Phoenix Down is just the perfect card for this deck. And there will be a few builds, I think, that will want to go both Reanimator and like cheating in Kona. I think that is smart because the Phoenix decks, or the Phoenix Down, wants to actually get a card from your graveyard, a Kona back from your graveyard. And if you're already filling up your graveyard, well, then you might as well run things like Zombify. So I'm pretty sure that this deck is going to adjust as time goes on, and I might go that route. Like at first I did have Yuna in this deck as well, and just try to, okay, we're going to double dip here. If we can just ramp into Yuna, then we can get a Summon Bahamut out. But Summon Bahamut actually was pretty lackluster as a cheat-in spell. Oftentimes you just destroy one permanent and then it gets dealt with. And yeah, if it can stick around, you have a 9/9 flyer, but just one ETB effect end up being not that great. So I end up cutting all the Yunas and just going for the most streamlined way to try to get something like an Atraxa out. So I think the two best cards you can actually still cheat into play right now are going to be Atraxa or Portal 2 Phyrexia, because Portal Phyrexia hits a lot of decks right now. We are in like a mid-range war with like the Demirs and the Mono Whites and a bunch of other decks that are kind of competing. I know Gruul is pretty big, and so Portal 2 Phyrexia ends up being a board wipe, and then it just ends up being really good card advantage. As I stated, there's probably some other things that are worthwhile looking in to reanimate, and going the whole Yuna route too. You can go into like Omniscience and then things like the World Spell, and then that becomes interesting as well. So especially after post-rotation, though, both of these rotate Atraxa and Portal 2 Phyrexia. So the shell will just morph over more in that route, but nothing else rotates from this list. You still have the Cash Grabs, the Dredger's Insights, the Say Its Name. So these cards are going to fill up your graveyard and try to dig for what you need. And then you can Phoenix Down back a Kona into play. And again, we're not really that reliant on our graveyard. I don't have any ways to really reanimate anything in this, I believe. I think that, yeah, it needs to be in your hand. There are a few ways, like if you self-mill, if you mill it, and then you can get it back from your graveyard that route. I'm also looking into going blue for this sort of effect as well. There's a lot of ways, as I'm trying to communicate here, that this deck can be built, but this is my particular list that I've got going. So let's just get down the deck list. So first of all, you do want to get out the Kona as quickly as possible. So we are going to run Llanowar Elves. Llanowar Elves, 1 mana for a 1/1. It can get a turn 3, I believe, with this deck into a turn 3 Atraxa. And again, you can go Omniscience too. Omniscience is a card that you could easily play and justify in this deck. And as I stated, going to blue, then you can go like the Dragon route and then go the traditional like kind of Omniscience. And then if you're in white at that point too, you can then use a reanimation spell for Omniscience. But anyway, so Llanowar Elves just basically speeds up the combo. And the Phoenix Down. So I don't know if I explained the combo. Phoenix Down is a basically for 3 mana. So it's 1 mana initially to cast the card if you want to actually slam it down, and then 2 mana and tap, and you can exile it to return a creature card with mana value 4 less to your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So in this deck, the drawback of having them come into play tapped is actually not a drawback, because it is a way to tap Kona. So you're going to get Kona back from the graveyard, and then on your second main phase, you are going to be able to put a card from your hand into play. I guess Galta could be another card. I didn't even think about putting a Galta in here as another reanimation target, because then Galta can then throw as many creatures into play. But then you'd want to be heavier on the creature count. And for this deck too, Atraxa is just pretty good at filling things back up. If you get Atraxa out, you're pretty much set. There are very few decks that can actually come back from an Atraxa. So then, as I stated, we're going to be running the entire package of trying to fill up our graveyard and basically to dig for that Phoenix Down and Kona combo. So we're going to have a cash grab, which goes through 4 cards and they can return to permanent. We're going to go through Dredger's Insight, which also goes through 4 cards, and you can get back an artifact or creature, which is exactly what this deck wants. And then this is more cute. I honestly think that we probably should go away from this combo. I'd be actually surprised at how often this becomes an alternate win condition too, with just a 9/9. So say its name is going to go through 3 cards and return a creature or a land, and at that point you can't get your Phoenix Down. But if you have 3 say it names in your graveyard, you can actually ramp out this Altanok, the Thrice Called, for free, and that has actually won quite a few games, which is having a 9/9. And this card's actually cool in this deck too, because it's another ramp card. You can discard it and return to land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And oftentimes this deck ends up just like hard casting things, like hard casting. There is ways to hard cast Atraxa, even though we're not playing any blue, with like cards like Scene of the Crime can tap for any color of mana, and so can Relic of Legends. So it's not unheard of just late game of just, hard casting an Atraxa. So onto one of the coolest combos with this deck is going to be a first turn Llanowar Elves into a second turn Lumbering World Wagon, not World Dragon, and then you'll be able to go get a creature, or excuse me, a land, and then when you cast your Kona the next turn, if you have a Kona in your hand, this is a great crew target. So you can crew Kona, or Lumbering World Dragon with Kona, and then attack in that same turn. You're typically attacking in for like 6 or 7 quite quickly. Like you'll have plenty of lands out if you did this on turn number 2. You'll have 3 lands out, and then on turn number 3 you'll put another land out, and it'll be attacking, I believe, for 5, and then the next turn it'll be like for 7. Like, it scales really well with this Lumbering World Dragon, and this card can actually take over the game quite quickly. And the Kona is the perfect card to crew it, because then if it does survive the crewing on the following main phase, you then can ramp out a spell. And then the other card that I'm running for this is the Ripspawn Hunter. It arguably is the weakest card in the deck, but this is another way for us to dig for what we need, because the survival of this particular creature at the beginning of your second main phase, if it's tapped, reveal X cards of your library X to the power and put any number of creatures and or vehicles. So we are running quite a few vehicles and creatures, and this can then dig for other Konas or dig for like the Atraxa that then can be cheated into play. So the cards that we're going to be ramping towards, like if you have to ramp into an Altanak, that's fine. It's a 9/9 that can be cheated into play. The World Spell is kind of fun. Again, this probably is too cute of a card. You can read ahead and then put 2 non-saga permanent cards from your battlefield, from your hand on the battlefield. So it's another way to, if you have multiple cards, you can then throw in like a Portal to Phyrexia. You can't do the Bahamut because it is a saga, but it is a way to get like an Atraxa and a Portal. And if we do need to just look at the top 7 cards and reveal a non-saga permanent, it's another way to kind of dig for what we need with the World Spell. But as I stated, it's probably too cute of a card. This was better with like the Yuna version, and going more in like, if you're going into the Yuna, you can go into more of the Overlords. But we've all seen that deck. There's plenty of decks right now that are just running like Yuna Overlords. So I wanted to be as unique as possible with this particular deck. So anyway, with this too, the land count doesn't have to be that high. We do want to run enough basics for the Lumbering World Wagon to actually find targets. And that's why we're going to run 7 basics. I'm not even sure if that's the right number, if we actually need to go up even in more basics. So anyway, let's go ahead and play some games here and see if we can get some cool games going in best of ones. Like, I don't have a sideboard built right now. I think if you would build a sideboard, of course, you run the usual suspects. You do want to kill things like Agatha's Cauldrons or any other graveyard removal. Even though graveyard removal is not the biggest thing, but there are definitely some cards that are problematic for this deck to actually function. and then your sideboard would be geared to slowing down either like aggro shells or any way to disrupt your deck. Alrighty, so best matchups, of course, are like mid-range matchups that don't interact. Like, I actually do like the mono-white matchup. This is actually a decent hand here. We can go Scene of the Crime first turn, and then after Scene of the Crime, then we can run the brush land into a cash grab or a dredger's. We'll just do a dredger's insight because it is something that is sorcery speed, and the cash grabs can be played at instant speed. So this does at least find us a forest, which is fine. Like, it didn't find one of the cards. It did find a Say It name in the graveyard too, so this will make 2 Say It names. And fortunately, it looks like we're going to be going up against someone that's playing a main board Rest in Peace. So that doesn't affect us too much because we'll eventually will. Oh yes, that actually does affect us. That just basically like, yeah. No, because we mill and then return. So Rest in Peace, I believe, actually just shuts us down completely, like, because mill and then you mill permanents this way because they go right into the graveyard, I believe. So yeah, unfortunately that just might be I mean, we can still draw into a Kona. So this is the artifacts. Yeah, I believe this is just the artifact deck. But that's rough. So let me see if this is if I'm doing this correctly. If we just cash grab, it just doesn't. Yeah, just exile. So, oh no, we do get him. We do get him back. So that's actually pretty cool. So it doesn't. Rest in Peace does not get. Apparently, you can dig it right from exile. All right, so we're actually pretty decent here because Portal Phyrexia and Atraxa are going to be good. I'm not going to run out of Kona. We're just going to run out the Lumbering World Wagon and call it good. Yeah, that's the play. And then the next turn we can hit Kona. So we might actually be able to squeak through a win. It depends on how much of a control shell this is. But I'm assuming this is going to be the simulacrum that's going to spit out a ton of tokens. And this Rest in Peace is also going to mess up our Portal Phyrexia. It's not going to get any value after that. So, of course, we'll probably just go into Atraxa. But this will definitely slow it down by making them sack 3 permanents. Like, this deck typically needs to find 2 of them with the synthesizer. And this deck is getting quite popular. There are a lot of hate cards. Like, there's a 6-mana green spell that just destroys all artifacts. I'm going to think this deck's going to start getting hated out. And our opponent's tapped out here, so we can just Atraxa. So we can just throw out this brush land, no problem. And we'll World Wagon here. And get in for 7. Well, hopefully, yeah, because we'll be able to find another land here. We get in for 7 and put our opponent down to a 15, and we'll just Atraxa. And I don't know if my opponent can deal with Atraxa, so what do we want here for creature? So Phoenix Down just is terrible. It doesn't do anything for artifact, but I mean, it is an artifact we can grab. Creature, I think we'll just grab this 9/9. It's something that has to be dealt with. Scene of the Crime is something we can sack to draw a card, and then we can take a Dredger's Insight. That's fine as well. And yeah, we'll just end the turn here. Do I just cast Say Its name? We don't really cast anything. We'll just, yeah, end turn's fine. And now opponent has to deal with an Atraxa and a Lumbering World Wagon. Okay, so they did find the Unified Battlefront, but that shouldn't do it too because we can just cast Phyrexia. Can we hard cast 4, 5, 6, 7? Not quite. We could almost hard cast it. Does he find? Oh, I thought he found 2 synthesizers. Gets a ton of creatures here. So actually only 3 of them. So we actually do slow them down. So I'll get in it for 7. Yeah, too bad we can't quite ramp enough. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can't quite just hard cast the. Might as well do a cash grab, I think. And just take another Atraxa? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Relic of Legends doesn't do it. Allows us to tap without... Does that actually... Yeah, it doesn't actually ramp us more. This doesn't. So the World Wagon is pointless. We're not going to put an Atraxa out, so we might just hardcast this. Yeah, I think that's the play. So scene of the crime, we'll hardcast the Kona, or the Altanak, and then we still want a crew. And then we'll just attack in with the Traxa. And then second main phase, we can portal. And it still, like, slows down the opponent. They're not going to be able to, like, lethal here. And they still have to then deal with an Atraxa. So it's got to be some sort of board wipe. But, and deal with, yeah. And trample is relevant. I think they could find another, one of the unified battlefronts and find another simulacrum. But, so 5 damage to the Kona and puts out 2. Oh, it does not put out 2. That's right. It has to put out, it has to be 3 or greater. So now they're going to be out of mana. Yeah, I don't see how they're going to deal with both the Lumbering World Wagon. And does hit Atraxa. Okay, maybe they can deal with it. Crazy. So you can't quite hardcast Atraxa. Yes, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to actually get through this. So we try to go say its name and try to find a Kona. Is that going to be the correct play? I could get one shot. Here's the problem. Like, they will have to block with one of them. And ay. Let's go the Hushwood. So how much mana do I have? I can tap for Atraxa. I think it's just still going to be a Dredger's Insight. That Rest in P really messed us up. And that unfortunately doesn't hit anything. Just a Llanowar Elf. So I want to find a way to crew, but I don't think it's going to be possible. Yeah, this is rough. So say its name again to try to find another Kona. So say its name, did not find anything. Okay, so I think we just relic here. And we crew a World Wagon just to get another land out of the way. So how many Konas are gone? 2. Yeah, I think so. I think we'll World Wagon. So there has to be a block here. And definitely could lose this. And Phoenix Down just doesn't do anything. So I guess a portal for Exi would be the next best. Summon Bahamut too. Ugh, putting out 2 more. Ay, this deck is crazy. Okay, gonna tap down the elf so they can attack him for 10. And Atraxa is just one damage off too. And then goes and gets another synthesizer. No, it's a fire crystal, huh? Oh, fire crystal because then they all get haste, and we just lost. Okay. Well, that was pretty crazy there. We were really close to closing that out. Man, that main board, rest in peace. Alrighty. Again, you can see though that it doesn't mess us up too much though, because we still have action. But if we've been able to get back a lot of value with the portal each turn. But it is what it is. Finding the 2 synthesizers was pretty nuts off the Unified Battlefront. Okay, so this is, I think, playable, even though it's just a 1-lander. I think we can keep it with the elf. Of course, we're in trouble if the elf dies. So this might just be a too greedy of a keep. But we have what we want in the hand with the Kona and the Lumbering World Wagon. So I don't think this is a mulligan. Just we can first turn land or elf. We're on the draw. We have two draws to hit a land. And one of these, like Dredger's Insights and stuff, should hit a... And we're going up as like a lifelink. We should be able to crush this deck no problem. Like Atraxa, this is the type of deck like Atraxa just eats up. And we did hit the land. So next turn we can... might actually... No, I still think it's just Lumbering World Wagon. So we can... Yeah, throw out the land. Yeah, Lumbering World Wagon. Get a land. And we should be in good shape for Kona. So Kona next turn we'll get an Atraxa. Atraxa will hopefully find us a Phyrexian Portal. And at that point we should be in good shape. We just have to... Yeah, I don't see any way they're stabilizing. So Kona, crew, attack, get a land. And they're just going to scoop it up. Didn't even get let me show Atraxa coming out. So there we go. So there's a nice little win. Yeah, I wonder if there's some decent cards. I know there's like a 7-drop that kills an artifact when it comes into play. I wonder if there's some creatures. There's got to be some like creatures we could put in the sideboard too that could react to those artifact decks. Like artifacts and enchantments seem pretty good to deal with. There's got to be a lot of permanents that do. We'll have to take a huge look at all the things that can be ramped into, because we do have some room in this deck. All right, so this is definitely keepable hand. Again, we have the Kona. We just need to dig for a way to tap the Kona, which should be fine. Like we might be able to find one here with like a cash up. We can do Dredger's Insight, or do you want to end a turn cash grab? I mean, it's pretty much 6s. I think we just wait. We just cash grab at the end of opponent's turn, and that way we don't run into some sort of counterspell here. If they want to counterspell this, then we can fire it off on our turn. And I think, yeah, we just get the World Wagon. I think that's... Oh, I should have got land. That was bad of me. I'm glad I drew a land there, because, yeah, that would have been a disaster. Now this one might get countered. Nope. Okay. Super. Gonna get a braided, possibly? Okay. I'm okay with that. It did ramp us a land, at least. And we just need one more land, and then we can hardcast Kona and tap it. And right now, though, we don't really have... Like, the Portal Phyrexia is pretty bad as a ramp. There's Atraxa, though. So, unfortunately, we did not hit that. Let's just go Dredger's Insight. And we also have a cash grab. And we'll most likely just hit a land here. Yep. So we do have the Phoenix down, but not... We do have the mana for it. I think we go for it. So that works. Okay. So they're going to have to deal with it. I mean, probably Lightning Helix. Oh, just going to exile my graveyard with a flanker. Man, there's so much graveyard hate. Main board graveyard hate. So, if I put it taps out, though, we're in great shape. Just want them to tap out. So, yeah, I don't think we run out Kona here. I think I'd rather just wait for a tap out. And yeah, what do we... Yeah, we do wagon here. If they want to counter a wagon, I'm okay with that. We got to bait the counter spells out. They have to. You eventually have to hopefully not run into stock ups and have our opponent continue to basically stay above card advantage. So I wonder if they're going to cast the dragon, kill the world wagon. Nope. Okay. So at this point, I do think we Kona. And we can start to find how many phoenixes are gone. Just one? All right, at least we're going to get a crew out of this no matter what. So they're going to have to take care of Kona with like a lightning helix. Yep, there's a lightning helix. But the world wagon hopefully can put in some work here. Unless there's like a... Nope, okay. So yeah, this is going to put in some work. And as I stated, we can start just hard casting... So I'm thinking about another mill card that can actually just hit things that aren't milled from. Like, then can just get a permanent back. Okay. So, I kind of want to take an Atraxa here. But, I think just like a... Atraxa is rough. Add 1 mana. We still need a black. So... Yeah, I'll take the Atraxa. That might end up being the wrong play. Yeah, definitely should think about running more of these Scene of the Crimes. Well, it's rough to get that mana. You have to have a creature out to tap for it. Not sure if that was the right play or not. All right, so 4 cards in our opponent's hand. We have no way to crew, though. At this point, I think I want to say its name just so we can get the 3 in the graveyard and possibly... Okay, so say its name actually does. Okay, yeah, never mind. This is a lot better of a card now that I'm looking at it. Because the other ones you have to get from the milled cards. So we'll get a Kona here. And these Dredger's Insights are actually putting in work, too. So, yeah, we're going to do the same thing again. Let's not take an unnecessary damage. So Kona comes down. And if we crew, at least we'll get off a big hit here. So I'm wondering if my opponent's going to counterspell. Okay. And create a token to exile my graveyard. Is my... Oh, my graveyard is relevant with a... Well, that's annoying. Okay. So we are close to the Portal of Phyrexia, other than there's really no targets left to get. Razor's Thickets is fine. We're just going to throw another Dredger's Insight. We might just end up getting milled here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to grab a land here, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to grab a good old land. I could go for Llanowar Elf because that's something that can actually tap for a blue or a black and start casting those. But I just think just grabbing a land is fine because that's going to guarantee it next turn. Yeah, I just might end up getting milled completely out here. Yeah, possibly running a 1 of Island and 1 of Black Source, but that just feels bad, though. It just really messes up the mana. All right, we will definitely take the Summon Bahamut. because that gives us something to do. We have a lot of things that are quite relevant to hit here that haven't been exiled. We still have our 9-drop. No, it's exiled. But we still have another portal if we can somehow slam these. I unfortunately think that just 3 steps ahead, we're just going to get controlled out. And that's one of the problems with this deck. Like, possibly running like another Manland too would be decent. Just if these control shells start... I mean, control is everywhere right now, especially in best of 1. It seems like people are playing a lot of control. But thought about like Caverns of Souls too. Like, it's definitely an option with Caverns because you can name, you know, Phyrexia. And then that's another way to get an Attrax out uncounterable. I mean, Attrax at this point are kind of a liability though. So I'm not sure if I just slam a portal of Phyrexia. I wonder which one's better. 5 cards in my opponent's hand, so they probably do have counter spells. So, yeah, I'm just going to slam it. A portal. If it gets countered, it gets countered. Okay, it does not. So at least we take care of our opponent's cards, and then we can get back into Attrax next turn, but I just might actually just get like a flanker. And then it looks like my opponent's got another Braid for the portal to Phyrexia. So rough. No. Okay, so if it lasts a turn, it's interesting because we can go Attrax and just fail to find, and then crew the Lumbering. A Shaco. Shaco is going to get the untimely, but this is going to be able to slam. Yeah, we're going to be able to slam Bahamut and kill the Shiko and then attack in for, what, 10? So this is actually pretty good. So take out the Shiku, crew. And not sure if I don't have any lands left. But we're two turns away from just winning. The Say Its Name can get back a... Eek. Actually, we can't really get back anything here. So if they do take care of the Summit Bahamut, we're yikes. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, and Attrax I still can't... Let's go Say Its Name. Hopefully get a Kona here. If not, just like get a Llanowar Elf and try to win with the Llanowar Elf. Oh, do I cash grab here? Oh boy. Yeah, this is fine. This is exile in the graveyard, but I still have... Kona. So we're still in good shape. Opponent's down to... has to block here with the flanker. Down to 2 cards, too. And I think here we'll just take... I don't know if I want to even take anything. I think it just take a creature. Like, we don't want to mill ourselves. So Relic's fine and a Scene of the Crime is fine. And we'll take a creature. I think we'll just take another Kona. And hopefully we don't get milled. I don't think I run into any sort of board wipe. Yeah, I guess I should have taken the other one, but yeah, the Relic is fine. And we'll try to get Kona. Yeah, get Kona above the Lightning Helix range. Yeah, this can be it's gonna be hard for my opponent to actually come back from this. We have a Kona. If they take care of the Kona, we have a Kona that then can attack in. So just 2 cards. So it's the River Regent, which is, I mean, it bounces too, but we just recast. So we just go Kona and crew, and they have to get rid of their dragons. So they're running out here. They're trying to just go for a mill. And then we can go Atraxa and just fail to find. Maybe we want just to run like 1 creature. Yeah, I'll get the creature just to run out the creature, because this is another thing that can... So I have to take care of both creatures here. So stock up is annoying. I believe we should be able, yeah, to put out another Atraxa. So they need to like run stock ups into stock ups. I have to find another dragon. Ah, yeah, that's so annoying. But I can only pop 2 of them here. Oh, so annoying. So Atraxa and Kona. But we can just hard cast. I mean, we'll do it this way, though. Yeah, so tap. Yeah, we can actually hard cast Atraxa, so no attacks. Put in an Atraxa. And were both of the portals dead? They were. Where's our other portal? Our portal still in our deck? Did I not take it? Oh my goodness. Well, Get Lost is actually... And Get Lost again with Shaco. Okay, so they are out of cards now after this Get Lost. So this Get Lost is actually quite weak too, because we can still do another Atraxa. And we can get this Meringue up, or this Ripsaw up, so where it can attack in. So let's go. Six. There's 7 on the Ripsaw. This can go on the Kona to get it out of Lightning Helix range. And then attack. They have to block now with the River Regent. And barring any nonsense here, we should be able to. And we can still... Yeah, we can still ramp back a creature as well, because we can add the white needed for Phoenix Down. Okay, so Quarry Mountain Monastery finds nothing. Hey, there we go. with 2 cards left in our hand, we grind out a stock up in 2 river regions. And you can see the graveyard. That's what's so good about this compared to reanimation strategy, is the graveyard isn't as relevant as we can still ramp it in. So that was a pretty cool showing for Kona. Yeah, this is definitely a deck that I think I'm going to have fun with, trying to figure out the right pieces. It will hurt getting rid of Atraxa and Portal Phyrexics. I still think those are the 2 best ones. But there could be some interesting little Omniscient shells that just ban Omniscience already. There's just too many ways to break it from here on out. So again, this is a really good hand. Again, we got the Kona in our opening hand. We have a Dredger's Insight next turn. And, yeah, I think Dredger's still better. So we are just going to find, I think I'm just going to find a land here and attack in. And we have the Phoenix down combo next turn. So we'll definitely go for it. No more lies. I can actually pay for it, though. So they did shoot off a No More Lies. Now they have to deal with the graveyard, though. Another blue-white control. Is this like the flavor of the week? Is everyone just running No More Lies or blue-white controller variants? So, yeah, we just go for it. We just go for it. So now they have to use map tokens on it. And maybe this little Llanowar elf that could is going to get in. Because again, if they do, oh, they do not have it. They waited too long if they did. And there's Atraxa. So Atraxa will hopefully fill back up our hand. We'll get the Portal. We'll get another Atraxa. We'll get a Bahamut. I could get the World spell here, but I don't think that's the route to go. Cash grab and say its name. So we fill all the way back up. And we can definitely do just a fire off a say its name. Now we'll just end up. Yeah, this is actually good here. We'll say its name so we can get one in the graveyard, and then at the end of the turn we can actually discard a say its name. So we'll just grab a land we can put in play untapped. Discard 2 cards, so the Razorverge Thicket and the Say Its Name can go to the bin. And at the end of turn, we can oh no, we can only activate that as a sorcery, so never mind. So Say Its Name has to be done as a sorcery. So it is another thing that we can run. So another Get Lost. All right, they're going to run out of Get Lost eventually, and we're going to be able to start ramping into some very pertinent cards. So we'll end up just doing the Say Its Name. And let's see, where is it? It's not in my graveyard, so it's in my library. So, and we do have a Kona, but we do not have a way to tap it. So we can go that route if we want, which I think we will. We'll go cash grab to try to find something, and we do get the lumbering. Which does ramp us. And I'm just going to make the little elf that could try to become up to where it can crew the World Wagon. So here we go. Like, our opponent's dealt with our combo with 2 Get Losts. Probably some Day of Judgments are going to start coming. Nope, just a stock up. So stock up's going to have to find another Get Lost. Man, it's time to really start punishing these blue-white controls by running the... What's the card that takes out a specific amount of cards from their deck? So take out their win cons and they can't do anything. Let's see here. So I think we'll go for Kona. Yeah. This is just lethal right here. Yeah, it is. That was just lethal. So we fight through 2, get lost. I think my opponent messed up there. They should have get lost the Kona rather than wait for the trigger to happen. Because it could have been like an Omniscience. It could have been something even crazier than a Traxa. I think they did. I think they were planning on like on the stack, but it doesn't work that way. We'll play one more here. See if we can get like a I want to see like a nice little mid-range. We did see the mono white that just scooped to us. We did grind out a control deck, and we actually ramped through a control deck. So far so good. This deck is actually performing quite well. And even the match we lost was closer than it. Yeah. All right, another very good hand. We got the Llanowar Elf into Lumbering World Wagon. Like, this is the best thing you can be doing in green right now. I'm really liking this Golgari deck that's just running basically this combo and then running demons. And the deck is just super resilient. It's you get a lot of advantage through those cards. All right, so we just go Rage Verge. I'm just going to cast the Phoenix down. My opponent, I don't believe, can really interact with it, so it is going to be a mono blacklist. This Portal Phyrexia is going to do really well if we can actually... All right, Dark Confidant, so we need to actually deal with that. We need to find one of our self-mill cards. Confidant finds a bat, which the bat is going to be rough. Yeah, this is going to be all about trying to hit a mill card here. So Duress actually kills the portal. We are good at top decking, though. Lots of relevant cards we can top deck into. Yeah, any of the 12 mill cards are super strong. So what we don't want to hit is like a Traxa. And if opponent decides to get rid of the Phoenix down, and then the Portal Phyrexia is going to take in my hand, which is fine. I mean, we're going to take the 2 here. All right, come on, something good. Relic was definitely not what we wanted. So hopefully we don't just get aggroed out. Yeah, Kona here is bad too. So we actually have a lot of bad draws that are... Actually, Kona's not horrible because we can still crew the World Wagon, so it ends up being, you know, pretty decent. All right. Three, 4, 5. That was actually 5, 6. Skeleton, spirit, or zombie. All right. Womp womp. I remember that these Phoenix Downs too. They're gonna have the ability to exile. What's the zombie? The 2/3 one. That's pretty relevant actually in standard. There are some skeletons or some spirits and zombies that are relevant at the moment. So I'll probably get back an elf here, which is, oh my goodness, never mind. I get back the elf. No, the elf still does give us enough, right? 5, 6. Yeah, it'd be weird with the Phoenix. Like the Phoenix down. Scavenging Ooze, that's gonna be rough. So if they play Scavenging Ooze on the stack, I gotta get back the Llanowar. So yeah, the Ooze is gonna be rough. But a 9/9, just slamming down a 9/9 is going to be pretty decent. All right, we got to just use it. Terrible target. And the Ooze is definitely going to get pretty big. But now we don't have a dead drop called land, unless it's going to be like a Razorverge Thicket or the other tap land. But everything else will then just allow us to cast. All right, so cash grab. Yeah, cash grab's fine. I guess we put out another lumbering, which does get us another land, which at least thins out. But I'm not sure if this Altanok is going to be able to, do anything for us. So next turn, though, we do have the mana for it. Opponent does not know what I have in my hand. They didn't just fire off a Duress. That was interesting. They didn't just fire that off with the one card in hand, because this is an unknown card. I mean, there's nothing really for Scavenging Ooze to get rid of. And on a Bahamut would be pretty good. Well, Bahamut would be... Duress would then just get rid of the portal. I'm trying to figure out like what would be... Like a portal for Exia off the top would be amazing. That would be the best draw. Because then we can deal with our opponents. I mean, that Dark Confidant is pretty clutch. Yeah, so I'm trying to think off the top of my head as I try to kill some time while our opponents might have disconnected. Going into red would be interesting with like Kogla. I'm trying to think of cards that actually destroy artifacts and enchantments that have good ETB effects. If there's one that have like multiples, and there's got to be. I mean, the card pool is so deep right now. There's got to be some. And black also has some really good reanimation spells. So Maelstrom Pulse can kill both the World Wagons, which is rough. Definitely is rough. Yeah, this is going to be all about like keeping this Llanowar Elf, keeping it alive for one turn is huge. Or just, again, top decking into a land would be fine too. I think what my opponents can end up doing is just firing off a Maelstrom Pulse or disconnecting here. And then firing off a Duress. It's probably their play, and then attacking in. And they might not even attack him with the Dark Confidant, so we actually get to save some damage here. But appears my opponent's just disconnected, which kind of sucks too, because this would be fun to try to figure out how this game would have played out. No, they didn't click on that, so they're not just... They're just wait till the last... No, okay, they are disconnected. All right. Well, womp womp. Too bad it doesn't allow us to draw cards too. That's like I think it's empty Joe. Then you can draw cards to see what you would have hit. But we have time for one more. We try to keep this under an hour. So hopefully in this last game will be good. And then or maybe we should take a look. Well, let's play one more. Let's just play one more here. And see how well it fares. So that's a matchup I do want to see if it's good versus the Dimir and the Golgari. And as I stated, like the Scavenging Ooze and those Graveyard Hate cards are not nearly as good. Of course, the black versions do with the rest being able to hit out key cards. This one we're just digging. We have the Llanowar Elf. And this is what I love about this deck. It's pretty easy to keep, like any hand, like especially Llanowar Elf. Alrighty. So Dredger's Insight's not terrible here. Let's just go. Yeah, Dredger's Insight. We're going against mono red. And I think we will just get a land. Like, we don't need anything else here. Like, just a Razorverge Thicket's fine. And it's going to be... Okay, it's going to be goblins. So, we need to find some crazy... outs here. We have... I'm going to kill my elf. I mean, sure. They get to play it next turn, but it's still a mana sink. We'll play the Razor Verge. We'll play another Dredger's Insight. Hopefully we can hit a Kona here. We did not. So what is the play? Just the World Wagon. And we can play a Phoenix down. And these Dredger's Insights are going to do, they're going to at least allow us to, that's a pretty cool combo with the Horde Master. So this is just goblins, huh? All right, we need to find a Traxa. Okay. And we did find a Traxa. Maybe I shouldn't have said we needed to find a Traxa. So we have a couple of options here. We can go for the say its name and hopefully find a Kona. I think that is the correct play. Like, we have to try to dig. And unfortunately, we did not find what we needed. So, like, a Llanowar Elf is probably just the right call here. Yeah, that kind of sucks. We can go Scene of the Crime and Llanowar Elf. And yeah, super rough. Yikes. So I think I have to block here just to save some damage for a 11. No, we'll let it go through. And this did not find us. Yeah, I think that was just, like, I'd play this matchup all day long. Unfortunately, yeah, it just didn't find, there's nothing in the graveyard, nothing at all. We went through almost half our deck to try to find the, like, the only thing we can do here is just draw a card with the Scene of the Crime. Yeah, and that didn't do it either. Womp womp. That is what it is. Did not find a Kona in that entire top 23 cards. So that is definitely one of the issues with this deck. That was a crummy one. We'll play this last one here. And then we were right at the hour mark. But Atraxa just pretty much wins that matchup. I think even with all the aggro the opponent had on that turn, the Atraxa next turn fills back up the hand with like a Kona. You still have a Kona left. You gain a bunch of life. Kill one of the opponent's better cards. Okay, so we're basically in the same scenario with this hand that we were with the last hand. So same thing, we can go Llanowar Elf into the Lumbering World Wagon, which is a little bit better with this particular hand. Duress would be rough. Okay, it's going to be a Snarling Gorehound. So it's going to be what? This is the Aristocrat Shell? I believe it is. Yeah. Yep, this is they're trying to throw in. Oh, no, this could be Insidious Roots. This is... So, unfortunately, the Cauldron can be a bit of an issue, but we do have, of course, ways around it by... Yeah, Insidious Roots, that's rough on turn number 2. So no blocks. Oh, we have Menace anyway. So we have the Hushwood. Yeah, we're just going to go Dredgers, another Llanowar, or... we'll go World Wagon. I think this is fine. And Insidious Roots is going to be an issue. We just have to hope our opponent's hand is pretty bad, but no Tavar yet. Scavenging Ooze. I wonder if they do get the Disruptive Storm brewed over the Scavenging Ooze. Now, I'm going to go for Scavenging Ooze, so... Okay. And now the combo has started. Can't cast the Scavenging Ooze this turn, so we do have time. But unfortunately, like, there's not a lot of good answers for this this deck, because they have a lot of answers. Like Atraxa, we don't wipe the board besides the portal. And the portal is actually not that great. They just get rid of a bunch of plant tokens. So we really need some luck here with the Dredger's Insight, because we have like not a lot of turns before we have to start applying pressure. All right, we got Kona. So that just works. We just Hushwood and Kona. And no, Kona's bad. I was like, we got Kona here, but it doesn't actually ramp into anything. We were missing that portion of the. So I don't even know if I actually do just run it out. So I think we just go Dredger's Insight. Ooh, that's interesting. I think of course we just get a Traxa here over Bahamut. And now we do have a Relic or an Elf and a... We have a Relic and... We could go Relic and Land or Elf. Or we can go Cash Grab. I think we just go Cash Grab. And at this point, I think we want... just something big. I think is fine. We can cast another Llanowar Elf. Okay, so we do at least get an Atraxa. I'm not sure if this is going to do much because our opponent just basically has the combo going with the Snarling Gorehound to fill up the graveyard. And then, I mean, not a lot of activations. They have been unlucky with the things in their graveyard. The Scavenging Ooze can actually get one activation. Yeah, we don't want to block anything here. Don't want any of those in the graveyard. And we probably do have an Atraxa out that's coming out next turn, though. There's Scavenging Ooze, which gets rid of... Like, if you target my graveyard, though, it's not going to... I like the card on top, too. All right, so Kona is coming out. So I don't know anything for 1 mana they can deal with Kona. So... And they attacked with the Maverick, too, which they should have kept it back. Because this is actually going to... Yeah, this is going to put in some work here. Not sure it's going to be enough, because Insidious Roots just goes nuts. Once it starts going, like we don't have a lot of outs here that can push through before they just gain 1 billion life. And I mean, Atraxa will be rough, though, for my opponent to deal with. Okay, so let's go ahead and attack in. And get us a nice little forest, which puts us a 5/4, so now we can actually trade with the activation of the Ooze. And we can actually even get it bigger. Do we want to get it bigger? I don't think so. I think we'll... All right, here we go with the Atraxa. Okay, see if Atraxa can beat this. We did not hit a portal to Phyrexia, but we do get Artifact. We'll get the creature with Kona. We get an enchantment, instant, and we do get a land. So not the worst hit ever. And I think we can play a land. And I could do a Relic, or I think we'll just put out another Lumbering. As this ramps us more. Okay. So we can ramp out an Altanok, which is okay. It's not the best thing in the world. I wonder if there's just a better finisher than what we're even using, with the Atraxa just being a value engine. Okay. So, opponent needs to draw Tavar. And didn't go for my Bahamut. But these roots are definitely going to get annoying. Yeah, I wonder if I should have grabbed Bahamut there instead and killed the Insidious Roots. There's plenty of mana. There's the Overlord. Fills up the graveyard. Puts back in another. Still no Tavar, though. Yeah, that Scavenging Ooze is actually going to be rough, too, because one of the ways I could see us actually coming back in this matchup would be the Portal to Phyrexia. And so next turn we're going to have to, like, hopefully both these world wagons forcing out a block, which is the... Oh, another one. Okay, they're tapped out, though, for... No, because these stupid creature tokens can actually tap for any mana. Still no Tavar. So... Yeah, Portal Phyrexia seems horrible, actually. What do they get rid of here? Just, like, a couple creatures? Now they can still do this with the Mavericks. Double Mavericks. Vigilance Reach. So that just shuts my Atraxa down. Yuck. Yeah, we need some sort of alternate win condition instead of attacking through. Like, both the World Wagons can both get in here, though, which will be fine. They have 1 mana activation. They'll hopefully deal a little with what my opponents think. So, let's see here. I think that's the right play. We're just going to dig. For the portal. And did not hit it. We still have a cash grab here to try to hit something. Another Atraxa. The World Spell. The World Spell's fine. We'll crew. And crew. And get in here with the World Wagons. Fortunately, we do not have another. Yeah, we're out of stuff. Okay. Gonna block. And yeah, I think it is just the World Spell. Yeah. But without targeted removal for the Scavenging Ooze, I don't think we're going to be able to grind out what the... So there's Portal. We absolutely need Portal. So 4, 5, 6. We can't quite do a Relic of Legends. And then we have 2 blockers. Can I just get lethal here, actually? I might actually just get lethal. Yeah, I think I messed this up. So Scavenging Ooze has plenty of targets. So we have 2 blockers. Block. Yeah, possibly that was the wrong play to attack him with the Atraxa. We had to try to make something happen, though. Portal only kills, yeah, not very relevant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attackers. We can block 2 of them. Pretty sure my opponent just has this. So, but play was definitely Bahamut for Insidious Roots. Kill the roots. And I think at that point we would have been in better shape because the opponent wouldn't be able to chain off as much. But it is what it is. We definitely... Yeah, we gotta block the 2 biggest ones, but I'm not sure that's gonna be enough. Gonna keep things back, huh? So, past blockers, we go here and here. And that's 9, 14. Do they have enough activations? I think they do. One needs a sorcery, 2 back. I'm not sure why they didn't attack with those. So it's 9, so 6. It's 9. Yeah, this is lethal. All right. Yep, crewing that was bad. Should have just crewed the 1 and left Atraxa back. Anyway, it is what it is. Like I said, there's still a lot more of the more unfair decks that can still compete with this, but it's fun. It's a fun little a thought experience for sure. As far as like, what are the options? Destroy artifact. We want like a creature. They can actually do it. I wonder if there's some big mana creatures. Oh yeah, so Nissa. Nissa wouldn't be too terrible. This actually seems pretty good. Like Nissa in the sideboard for sure. Putting out, destroying 1 artifact though, and then giving creatures trample is pretty relevant as well. Giving these World Wagons trample. So definitely could go Nissa, and you're easily ramping into it. Season of Gathering is also a fine little sideboard card. Because you can destroy all artifact or enchantments, huh? And it's easy to ramp into this as well, and it doesn't really hurt your board. You could lose a couple things like the World Wagons and stuff. Of course, Graveyard, too, is something... What is this? This Thundering Brood Wagon. Is it worth actually ramping into? Destroy target non permanent opponent controls mana 4 or less. No, that's pretty crap. So I get they cycle it. This is like a target that's supposed to be reanimated. But Cityscape Leveler. Forgot about this one too. This one's you have to cast it though, and you're putting it into play. Yeah, so this one's actually a non-bow with the deck. We do have good old Meteor Golem though too, that can be like a kind of weaker Bahamut. Other than this is something also that can be ramped into. But Colosseum Behemoth definitely could be an option. It seems kind of weak though. The Silverback Elder. So whenever you cast a creature spell, so again it's a non-bow because we're not casting things in the deck. And same thing with like the Disruptive Stormbrood. I don't think it's something you want to be like ramping into. Same thing with Frillback. I know that there's kind of the combo with this with entering, and then you can actually activate the ability a lot because this does trigger on the entering effect. But all in all, I'm sure there are plenty of other options when we just look at creatures of what, just with big beefy bodies. So it did perform well. Like I was surprised at how resilient this shell is, and we're definitely, the numbers are kind of awkward for sure. And I mean that could be an option too. Instead of really carrying too much to go like these cards that just get massive value, you could go the route of just casting cards that also are just something you could ramp into with just like the Relic of Legends, the World Wagons, the turn 1 Elf into a turn 2 3-drop is something that you could easily then cast something else. And that's where Mighty Yuna and just going traditional Overlords is the right route to go. And Kona I still think deserves a slot in there because it feels like just like another Yuna at that point. And again, we don't have to even look at creatures. They're all like, you can basically look at any card that has a high converted mana cost. And Crater of, there's another one that's kind of interesting other than, comes in post main phase. So that's kind of a non-bow there too. But yeah, definitely looks like it has some super potential here. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. And we will get back to brewing with our top 10 video, and we'll be looking forward to an Edge of Eternity's brew video as well as we get more spoilers. And I'm going to definitely try to hit that one really hard. We're heading towards kind of the slower summer season, so the store isn't as busy, so I should have a lot more time to actually get back to giving this channel some love. Hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder with the Getting Down and Dirty with Kona. Thanks for watching.